So this will be a different kind of video than we usually do. It will be kind of an homage, a respect to Anthony J. Hilder, who we're finding out just passed away yesterday on April 26, 2019, at the age of 84. And according to insider sources from his own social media, this happened because of health complications. And Anthony was a pioneer in many respects. He also lived a very full life. He was an author, a filmmaker, a talk show host, a broadcaster, an actor. He helped produce a lot of music, but most importantly, he was a pioneer. Before there was kind of Alex Jones, before there was even a William Cooper, there was Anthony J. Hilder, who came out with documentaries and spoke out against the ruling establishment, and really not only was a pioneer in a lot of alternative thinking, but specifically alternative media. And I think this is why it's important we make this video. Now, Jason, you knew this man a lot better than I did. What do you have to say about Anthony J. Hilder and kind of our remembrance video of him?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I was close with him by any means, but he is in my film Shade the Motion Picture. I followed a lot of his stuff, and he was gracious enough to give us an interview after he had had a stroke. I believe it was back in 2011, 2012, and it was recent. But he still had his wits about him. He was having trouble maybe, talking or whatnot, or getting some of his messages across. But we were able to use small excerpts and put him in there. When you talk about pioneers, Luke, this man is it. I may not agree with everything he had to say, but we're going to actually play a couple of clips in remembrance of Anthony to show, how ahead of his time he was and how he was able to reach out to people. He was a great orator, and that really showed when he was using the technology of his time. We talk about pioneering. Well, he was putting out actual vinyl records, Luke, such as the Illuminati and the CFR. And again, when we're talking about the 1960s and somebody talking about the Council on Foreign Relations and globalism and real world power, masonry, and all those interlocking secret societies that are almost common knowledge and parodied today. I mean, we have Taco Bell commercials that parody the Illuminati. And without a guy like this, I don't think that we would know half the things that we're aware of today.
Yeah, people forget how difficult it was to get your message across before the internet, and he pioneered it in so many different ways. I remember finding out about him at the age of, what was it, 13 or 14, seeing some of his documentaries, getting the torrents downloaded, and kind of having my mind blown. But essentially, I mean, he was talking about a commie Nazi slave state. He was talking about our freedoms going away. A lot of things he said, in hindsight, were directly right on the money. There's even a debate here that we have a clip of him debating Khalid Muhammad about race, which we're going to play an excerpt of in just a little bit. But according to his own social media postings, this is the post that they have here, and it says, "Quote: Sad news. Sorry to say that Anthony J. Hilder has passed into the next life. I talked to his partner today, and she told me some of the details. Anthony was a mentor to me and to thousands of people who have seen his films and videos over the years. He has passed on to the next life, and I am certain his reward is there for being a way shower, a truth teller for us all. Anthony J. Hilder will be remembered." And I think it's important to remember him because, again, he was able to get the message across. He was able to get documentaries across when everyone was just totally ignoring it. There was a time where the whole kind of New World Order conspiracy talk was totally ignored. It was totally censored. There was no jokes made about it. It was not a part of pop culture. And really, Anthony J. Hilder has to be recognized as one of the people who put some of those bigger talking points, those bigger ideas out there into the kind of mainstream where it is right now, where, again, literally, as you said, Jason, Taco Bell is making, Illuminati video related content for of course, commercial advertising. So we do have to pay a lot of respects to Hilder here in many, many, many different ways. Anything else you want to say about him, Jason?
Yeah, I want to say that, he was never shying away from hostile territory. So that's why I want to play this clip first. I mean, here he is in a room of, African American people who are not happy, who are angry, and they're really talking about a race debate here, and Anthony's trying to reach out to them. And very, very much so, he's able to do it with truth. And I think that these words speak just as true today, especially with the media constantly trying to pit race relations at the forefront of politics in this country. So let's play a little bit of this, and then we're going to play something a little later in his career.
Lynn and I both were shot by black men, but that does not make the black man the enemy. Any more than if we were shot by white men would it make the white man the enemy. Our enemies cannot be recognized by their state of color, but rather their state of mind. All black men do not think alike, any more than white men think alike. We are all different. God, in his divine plan, has made us individuals. We have the right of freedom in this country. And I would like to see it flourish rather than die. Never in the annals of human history has so few done so much so often to take so much and hurt so many as the warlords of Washington and Wall Street. There isn't anything that you have or ever had or ever hope to have that they're not planning on taking away. They want it all.
And I love that because he's right. The warlords of Washington and Wall Street. There isn't anything that you have that they're not planning on taking away. And again, what's happened over the last 35 years? Do you really own your home? Can you afford your medical insurance? A lot of people could at that point, not so much anymore. So, we've went from a nation that were movers, shakers, doers. We owned our own property. We controlled our own destiny to a nation of debt slaves in almost every single case. And Luke, to me, that has nothing to do with race. And that's one of the messages that I think he conveyed very well in this short clip.
Well, he was talking about the divide and conquer agenda, how, usually social elites and establishment figures play bigger tribes against each other for, of course, political benefit, for, of course, the chaos, for, of course, problem, reaction, solution, the kind of Hegelian dialectic that he was also talking about for a very long time. I mean, he was one of the front runners when it came to talking about Bilderberg, Bohemian Grove, and so many actual real life things that it was so important to kind of put into perspective. And of course, he spoke sometimes in generalities, but these generalities have becoming more true by the day. And again, if you haven't seen any of this content, I strongly recommend you do a kind of search of Anthony J. Hilder and check out some of this stuff. This is some of the stuff that he also shot that I also found very interesting, and I think we should play here as well.
And what do they do with all of this money? They buy the politicians. See, a politician is like a prostitute. They will give way to the highest bidder. Are the members of Parliament and the Congress of the United States beholden to the people? Well, they don't think so, because it's the big money, the banksters who buy them off. They do their bidding.
I think I wanted to make here, Jason. Comments like that, he was saying that for decades, would have been laughed at. Like, no, we have a representative government, like, especially when he was coming out with this important messages. Jason, what else do you want to do here? Should we leave on more clips, or do you have anything else to say specifically about Anthony here?
Well, I think that was a really good clip to leave on. For those that don't know, he was actually on the Rothschild estate there filming and talking about the power of them in the banking industry over politicians. If you want to read more about his career, Kristen T. Harris, who we met at Bilderberg 2017, has a great article on the Rundown Live about his life. And look, we need more people like him. It really reminds me that I'm not going to be here for the rest, forever. Luke's not going to be here forever. A lot of these people, they, in my opinion, they kind of get forgotten. And this guy was a true pioneer. He should not be forgotten. Jim Marrs should not be forgotten. People like, Jordan Maxwell, who he worked with for years. A lot of people don't talk about him, but he did amazing, amazing work. He's still with us, but for how much longer? Nobody makes it out alive, guys. So I think it's important that we reflect on how important it is to get this kind of information out and share it with people and have a positive message because he did have a positive message. He was trying to bring people together against the true power structure that tries to keep us down. Guys, if you think this was a good video, you know, it's a little different than the ones we normally do, please share it. But really, you know, for this one, maybe you should just go check out Anthony Hilder. Give him a Google. Give him a DuckDuckGo or whatever you use, start page, and watch some of his stuff, because he has done just amazing stuff over the years, and I encourage all of you to give it a look. So thank you all for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon.